Howdy gamers, how's it going? I'm gonna talk about something political today. And this is almost not talked about at all, and this was very, very scary. If you heard me talk about it before, you'll know most of my ideas are pretty libertarian. I tend to not agree too much with either Republican or Democrat, but libertarian. I feel pretty strongly that I agree with the majority of stuff that's said in that party, especially stuff said by like Gary Johnson. There's some very ridiculous shit that gets said. Some people that are honestly far closer to anarchists than they are libertarians, but I'm not going to get into that. There was a bill 3 days ago from when I'm recording this. It was March 14th, 2020, and the United States Senate tried to pass a bill known as the USA Freedom Reauthorization Act of 2020. And you know, if you do much political stuff, that freedom infers some sort of infringement on it. Usually if it has anything to do with technology. And this one today does. The USA Freedom Reauthorization Act is trying to cover quite a few things. Now what did passing was a greater control of the government and its agencies to be able to have stronger reasoning and justification through that bill for foreign spying. And you can see that right fucking here. And I will provide every link in the description. This is the bill that was passed, and if you read through this, you will see that almost exclusively all of what was passed has to do with their foreign. This is a very boring read. There are articles that cover what I'm going to talk to soon, but this specifically isn't talked about that much. You really have to read it straight from what happened. And the majority of what ended up being passed and has to do with amending what is known as the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act of 1978, which primarily has to do with the technological surveillance of other countries. So that's primarily now just going to be done through online chats, emails, browsing history, stuff like that. And to link into the browsing history part is that there are 37 senators that voted to let the FBI seize your internet history without a warrant. Now, if you're unsure about the current state of it, there are 100 senators. Okay, and if there was literally a single more vote in that thing, there were no shows and there were other issues, or people testing positive for COVID relating to Senate, so that's kind of a bit of a meme. But regardless, you can go to a page like this, and I will also link this. This seems to be a non-biased article, at least. It just literally says, this is what's going on, and they don't give their own input on it, which I respect. But you can go through here and you can see who voted for the FBI to be able to obtain your internet history without a warrant. Now, I need to clarify, too, that they are not able to do this. However, it was so close. If there was literally a single more vote, then you could have done that. And what you can do is you can go over here and you can see who voted for it. All right. So for example, you can control F your state. Mine's Missouri. So I can control F Mo and I can see that. Okay. Roy Blunt voted for it. Oh, who's Roy Blunt? This guy. Look at that smug fucking smile, right? Look at that piece of shit. And you'll be like, okay, this pissed me off. So what some people may not know, I think this used to be talked about way more like decades ago, is that generally the senator tries to remain open contact with his voting base. So if you like to, and you're quite pissed about something they've done, you have two options. You can check here. I will have all of this shit linked. This is just United States Senate. You can see who it was for. Okay, there's Haley Josh, and there's Blunt Roy. And this is going to show you how you contact them. Haley Josh, we saw, was not on the list. That means Haley Josh, or sorry, Josh Haley. Josh Haley was not involved in it. So we're going to leave him alone. However, Roy Blunt can go fuck himself. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some dumb shit, alright? Because they pissed me off, and I don't like handling things normal. So I'm going to enter my name as Jester Jones. I live at 123 4th Street. Phone number 123-456-7890. I'm actually going to give my throwaway email because I am curious if I ever get a response. Message topic. The most accurate one here is probably going to be defense because they usually use some domestic defense excuse as to why they're going to send it. I'm moving my webcam really quick so it's blocking it a bit. So here's the message box. Now what you can do is you can type to him like, hey man, I understand a lot of people from Senate aren't the most technologically capable people, but here are more reputable sources on why what you're doing is absolutely insane, right? And that's if you want to do something productive. And honestly, if you want to do that, God bless, but I'm here to be a bit of a fucker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Google B-movie script. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to go down. Okay, so now that we have the entire B-movie script in our paste, we're just going to go and pop that in there. It's actually only a 2,000 character limit, but we're just going to get as much as we can. Hopefully he has a good read. I'm not condoning you doing this to your senator. I have to share that statement before I hit the submit button. But if you do, it'd be kind of funny. Submit? Oh, thank you for sharing your concerns with me. My office will make every effort to respond to you in a timely manner. Glad to hear, Roy Blunt. Regardless, though, I hope you guys are aware that you can contact your senator. And honestly, you don't really have to be a piece of shit like me. You can genuinely talk to them, be like, hey man, you voting voting for that has single-handedly made me not want to vote for you. And there's also something where you can look at which senators voted for this, and you can not vote for them. If you do vote, which I'd imagine very few people that watch me do, I know that single-handed thing upset you. And also, feel free to not only be a shithead and complain, you can see who didn't, like Haley Josh, right? I'll spare her by not sending her the entire B-movie script like I did to my boy Roy Blunt, but you can let her know you're glad with her decision, and other stuff similar to that. Regardless, though, I think that's about it. I wanted to not only focus on some shit that really pissed me off, but how actual practical ways to handle the situation. I try not to bitch about something too much without having actual practical solutions. While the practical solution isn't sending the B-movie script, actually tell them something and why it's dumb, and let it know from your personal opinion and provide sources. They will respond to you, I think, because your senator has to remain open contact with his voting base. So have a good one though, gamers.